Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about I got Rebecca's chicken up in my car trying to get cold. Delivery driver says DoorDash isn't a side hustle, it's a sport.
Say what?
That is a very interesting perspective on what DoorDash is, or really any gig app is. I would actually argue that Veho, currently for me, is one of the more physically intensive just because I'm delivering heavy meal kits on Tuesdays, but overall I wouldn't necessarily consider it a sport. But I am genuinely curious on what her perspective is. So with that said, I want to go over everything being said in this article, how it actually is for DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. In a trending TikTok video, a DoorDasher shares one of the things that annoy her the most when she's trying to get an order delivered quickly. In the video, Chelsea Joe at Finnandquinn appears to be filming from inside her car, possibly after completing a DoorDash delivery. I'm going to leave her TikTok as well as her profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject.
Let me tell you something. DoorDash ain't no side hustle, ain't no regular job. No, let me tell you what it is. This is a sport.
I mean, it's not a regular job, but I am definitely curious to see your perspective on that. She explains that when she's on her way to turn in a delivery, she wants the food to still be hot for the customer, especially since they'll likely complain if it isn't. Given that, Chelsea Joe says that anyone who's driving under the speed limit while she's working will get the beep beep, referring to her honking her horn at them in an effort to alert them to drive a bit faster. I am so glad the latter part of this is actually so on point for who I am as a person. Like, I don't want to spend a lot of time on delivery. Like, I want your order on my app and off my app as quickly as possible, because the more orders I get in my app and off my app, the more orders I get done, the more money I'm going to end up making. So if you're an old person driving under the speed limit, you're the problem. But that being said, the mindset of the food still wanting to be hot, that's a customer-centric mindset, and I appreciate that. Me, I am a just money-making centric mindset, so it's a completely different thing. I guess they both accomplish the same thing.
You see me DoorDashing on the road, you best beep beep, get out the way. Because I got Rebecca's chicken up in my car trying to get cold, and we can't be having that. We trying to show up on time with hot ass food.
Yeah, some people don't get that. Sometimes the food gets cold not because we want to actually make it cold. Well, I know that some drivers actually do that on purpose because they're trying to teach no tip or something, which is completely defeating the purpose of no tip, no trip. But we don't want to spend more time on the order. We need people, when the light's green, go. We need pedestrians to only cross when there's no other drivers and not just try to get hit by a car and claim insurance money. We need old people to stop cutting people off and then driving under the speed limit. Okay, that one might be Florida specific, but you get my point. And I'm surprised more people don't get that, especially as customers. She said people going 5 miles under the speed limit are getting passed, and those going 10 miles under are getting honked at repeatedly. I mean, I more am thinking of the Tokyo drift mindset where I'm just trying to drive around them as quickly as possible, but do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna get Rebecca's chicken to her on time, so you gonna have to move or I'm gonna make you move.
My favorite is when they go so far out of their way to be a problem. You know what I'm talking about? It's like when people are getting honked at and they know they were in the wrong. When people get honked at and they know they're in the wrong, they get so prideful and egotistical sometimes. Why are you honking? Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because the light was green and you weren't moving because you were on your phone or doing your makeup or getting the Glock 3000 from your girlfriend or whatever. Like, if you're gonna do those things, that's fine. Just get out of the freaking way. Don't make us all late because you have to be a pain in the ass. And don't even get me started on those who stop dead at a yellow light when we both could have made it. Chelsea Joe shares that she noticed that older drivers have a tendency to drive at a speed under the limit, sometimes as slow as 15 miles an hour under the limit. Sometimes even worse. My grandfather's fastest speed to date as of today is like 15 miles an hour, period, on highways. He shouldn't be driving, but we can't stop him.
I don't know what the problem is. If you hit a certain age and you just lose motor function in your feet, or you just can't read the speed limit or the dash anymore.
Well, it could be a bunch of different reasons. They may not have anybody to help them. They may be at a point in their lives to where they're just doing what they want anyway, and they're too prideful to ask for help. Or they just do what they want, and they're literally living their lives to be a nuisance. I've actually seen some old people who just keep trying to pick fights with other people for the sake of picking fights with other people. And they're all skinny old men. I don't know why it's always that. The video has more than 10,400 views and over 80 comments as of Wednesday morning. Well, the things you do for content, huh? Chelsea Joe regularly posts videos related to her experience as a DoorDasher. Sometimes she does challenges like accepting every DoorDash offer that comes through. Other times she takes viewers along on her day for a specific order. I'm just being goofy, y'all, the caption read. Like I said, her TikTok and her profile are going to be in the description as always. Always looking to support the gig community, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, or wherever. People in the comments agreed with Chelsea Joe and said they do the same thing. LMAO, it's funny because I never beeped at people until I started dashing in North Carolina, a commenter wrote. Yeah, most people change the entire way they drive once they start being a DoorDash driver. Like, some people will actually drive more aggressively. I'm so thankful I am from New York and I learned to drive there. Because if I was the kind of driver that learned how to drive in Florida, oh man, it would be a totally different story. I'd be one of those people that are in accidents every other week. Yeah, especially if they're tipping $20. Better believe she's having the best customer service, another said. I give my best quality service regardless of what orders I accept. I'm also very selective on the orders I accept specifically, so that's a different conversation. Now, I described my nephew as Mario Kart. I'm moving through town, getting the high-paying power-ups and avoiding the no-tip bananas and shells a person shared. So in that logic, what would that make the blue shell? If no tips are bananas and just normal shells and red shells are like account lagging or glitches, what does that make the blue shell? Let me know in the comments what you think. Another said Chelsea Joe needed to be more understanding of older adults. Hey, lay off the old people driving. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to be old and find out why they go slow, but kudos on the food if you were wrote. No, honestly, I completely agree with Chelsea here. Like, there is a point in time where they're not even trying to drive at a reasonable speed anymore, and they're just more in the way than helpful. Kind of reminds me of our politicians today, but we're not going to get into that. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. I guess you could, in a certain respect, refer this to NASCAR or like a video game like Mario Kart. I definitely see where they're coming from. And I definitely see how driving in a certain way actually does change how much you make during the day. I'm not even kidding. If you're driving in a local neighborhood, right? And you're driving the speed limit, or you're driving under the speed limit, you're gonna make a different amount of money than somebody who not only is going, let's say, 10 miles over the speed limit, but knows the side roads. They know which traffic lights you could turn red on, and they know what the GPS does in comparison to where he actually needs to go. It changes the entirety of how you make money. And I think that needs to be promoted more in a way. But at the same time, that's not exactly something you search online for ways to actually make more money on DoorDash. Most people think, oh, it's got to be something in the app. Oh, it's got to be this glitch maneuver. No, it's sometimes just getting the fundamentals right. And what's the fundamentals? How to cherry pick effectively, how to get the orders on and off your app as quickly as possible, what orders you do take, what orders you don't take, what restaurants you shouldn't be taking. Could that all be referred to as a sport? I guess, but I think it would be better suited to say it's a business. You learn how to operate your business, and then you get better at it, so that way you're not spending as much time doing an order, and then you could take more orders, and you could keep that momentum going. But old people need to get off the road, I swear. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!